Welcome back to Alex Suggest. Today we're gonna take a look at the Fuji X-T200. I put it under stress, every possible test I could think of, recording in 4K, recording in Full HD, recording with its internal SD card or also externally through HDMI. These are my results. Hopefully they're useful for anyone out there. I'm Aleloy, this is Alex Suggests, and let's get this video started. So for the first test, I ran a 4K recording internally in its SD card and I was able to hit 15 minutes without any issues. The camera was cold. I started the test from the camera being just powered up. After 15 minutes, obviously the camera will stop because it's got a recording limit of 15 minutes. But I was able to hit the record button again and record another 15 minutes again in 4K, 30 frames per second. After this, the camera would stop again because of the recording limits. So I was able to hit record again, but this time the camera only recorded another 5 minutes and then eventually shut off because it overheated. Now, the first overheating symbol appeared on the camera at the second time I was recording. Now, after the camera overheated, I waited 5 minutes to have the camera cooling down and I powered up the camera again and hit the record button. I was able to record another 13 minutes and then the camera eventually shut down again because of overheating. So it looks like the camera takes a while to cool down. After the camera cooled down, I've done my second test, which was leaving the camera in standby. Just powered on the camera and left it there for 1 hour. Although after 1 hour I didn't have any overheating symbol, after I hit the record button, the camera shut off after 8 minutes. And I was not able to power the camera on again. This test was important because I thought I would simulate some sort of real world scenario when you have the camera on, maybe you're taking some pictures, or maybe you're in studio, you're setting up your studio lights. You know, 1 hour is a pretty long time, but considering the camera was not taking pictures, was not doing anything, nobody was using the camera, was simply staying standby. Well, being able to record only 8 minutes after that, again in 4K, 30 frames per second, but still only 8 minutes, I mean, that was not something I was particularly happy about. I then tried a 4K recording 30 frames per second, but this time I tried to use a dummy battery. Now I'm gonna link below the dummy battery that I used because it could be related to this, but I was actually able to achieve way less than what I did by using the battery, which is sort of going against whatever I read online out there, because everybody seems to be recommending to use dummy batteries to just extend the amount of recording time that you can do. To my tests, this was simply untrue because I was able to record my first 15 minutes in 4K 30 frames per second with the camera just being powered up, so completely cool. But straight away after around 13 minutes the overheating symbol appeared, and then after finishing the first 15 minutes I was able to hit record again, but after 5 minutes the camera overheated and shut off. Now the next test that I ran was recording over HDMI out. I know I could have left the camera in standby and have the camera streaming the video out of it anyway, because this camera will stream clean HDMI even though you leave it in standby, but unfortunately the frame rate that you get by doing so is not the same frame rate that you set in the camera. If you leave it in standby, the frame rate is all over the place, so I was just forced to hit the record button and set the camera to record only over HDMI, so in this way the camera will not record internally, and I thought I would achieve a much better result than if I was gonna record internally. Unfortunately, the results were kind of disappointing. The camera overheated after 18 minutes of recording, and after the camera overheated I have hit the record button again and I was only able to achieve another further 5 minutes, then the camera overheated again. So at this point I cannot really see a point to get a capture card or an Atomos Ninja and record over HDMI, because this would be just an extra hassle to achieve just 5 extra minutes, and obviously it's not That's all something I would recommend there. Now the last test that I ran was just recording in full HD internally. The camera was just powered on, it was cold, and I was able to record at 30 minutes, and then the camera has a recording limit of 30 minutes, so the recording stopped. When it stopped, I noticed that I had the overheating symbol on the screen, but I was able to hit record again, and I was able to record another 30 minutes without any issues, although the overheating symbol was still there. So after these 2 slots of 30 minutes, so 1 hour recording in total, the camera ran out of battery and shut off. So I didn't continue my tests, but it didn't overheat at all. So it seems to be handling the full HD way better than the 4K. So that was it, just a very quick update. Hopefully any of this is useful to anyone. If you have this camera, you know what are the limits, how much can you push this camera, and if you don't have this camera, now you know how long can you record with it. Hopefully you find this content useful. If you did, please don't be shy and press the like button and subscribe to stay in touch. I'm just gonna have more reviews about Fuji's and compare it with the XS10 as well, some hacks and how to get the most out of your cameras. So if you're interested in that kind of content, press that subscribe button. I'm Ale Lloyd, this is Ale Suggests, audio and video suggestions for the creative minds, and I will see you here very soon.